Hi, welcome back to the channel The Boss's Way. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at 2016 World Championship decks, Darkrai EX, and although Shaman EX is on the front of this, it's actually a Yan Mega and Vespiquen deck. So we have already done the other two 2016 decks. Well, we've done the opening of the winner for the Masters Division, who was playing Mega Audino, Shunto Ito. And then for Greninja deck, I actually couldn't find it, as I said before, at a reasonable price. So what I did was I just built the deck with actual cards, and it actually worked out cheaper. So yeah, so that's what we did there. And so I don't have an unboxing for Greninja as such, but it is something that I can go through the deck at some stage. Don't think I did a deck profile for it. In today's video, we're going to actually do both of them, because I want to actually sleeve these up and put them into my deck boxes, my deck collection, and start playing with them. But I've been putting it off because I wanted to do an unboxing video for these, and I just haven't had time to do it. So if we take a look here, we get our San Francisco 2016 pins, which are pretty cool. We also get at the back a little description, so which is pretty cool. So we have Shunto, Sadahiro, the junior champion, who was playing Darkrai, and Jesper, Eriksen, the senior champion, who was playing Yan Mega Break and Vespiquen. So two pretty cool decks, and unlike our 05 and 07 deck boxes, these are actually a bit bigger, so they've gotten bigger over the years. So a quick kind of synopsis here for the Darkrai deck. So, Shunto's deck channeled the power of darkness to claim victory in the junior division. Giratina EX and Garbodor work together to keep the opponent from doing pretty much anything, especially for opponents whose deck rely on special energy, which is pretty cool. And there's a bit more there, but I'm just kind of giving you a brief rundown of it. And then Jesper's deck. Jesper brought a deck built around the brand new Yan Mega Break from X and Y's team Siege to Worlds, and it took him to the top of the senior division between Forest Giant Plants, which lets you basically evolve grass Pokemon as soon as they hit the board, Yan Mega's Sonic Vision ability, and the Judge Supporter card. This deck can unleash huge attacks immediately. So two pretty cool decks, and looking forward to unboxing these and then getting them sleeved up. So, very similar to the Mega Audino deck that we opened up, but let's take a look now at Shunto's deck here, and we'll unbox it here real quick. And I'm looking forward to unboxing these, getting them sleeved up, and then actually doing some deck profiles again of other decks that I've built that aren't World Championship decks. But I've kind of felt that this was just hanging over me a little bit to finish it up. So again, we have the San Francisco Worlds book, which is actually pretty cool, and it goes through the players there. I actually ended up building Condor Penderson's Seismitoad list from 2016, because I saw, actually you can watch it on YouTube, these two play in the finals, and I really liked it. And I obviously heard of Seismitoad and Bats Toads, the what you call it, the Crobats that snipe damage when they evolve, and the Golbat too, and then you have your Seismitoad as well, which is a pretty cool deck. So I actually built it, so that's something that I should probably do a deck profile on. But yeah, some pretty cool stuff to see here, because you get to see pictures from the competitors. You also get to see deck lists by the people who competed, and kind of a synopsis on them. There's Shunto Ito, who we did already, who won Worlds with Mega Audino, and then this is Cody Walensky's Greninja list. And actually there is a YouTube video about him talking about his list. You can find it if you just type in Cody Walensky into YouTube and his deck. He'll come up and you can listen to that. It's pretty cool. But I actually built the actual deck for this. So, yeah, Ross Cawthorn, pretty well-known player, been around for years. So, yeah, you get to see your junior division, senior division. Wolf Glick, it's obviously a pretty big VGC YouTuber and player, current world champion as well. We'll be defending it this year in London. And I will be going. I'll be there in London this year. Got my spectator badge since it's just so close to us here in Ireland, and hoping to book in a slot for the Pokemon Center 2. So if anyone's going to Worlds this year, let me know. Come say hi. Yeah, so that's kind of it. Really cool. Really, I love Pokemon history. I love history in general, especially Pokemon history. So these books are fantastic to give you an insight into what it was like back then at 2016 Worlds. So let's now remove this. Pokemon have actually gotten a lot worse with their use of unnecessary plastics in the more recent products. There's the badge there, pretty cool. San Francisco badge, pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of unnecessary plastic. I recently bought the arena decks, League Battle decks for Shadow Rider and Ice Rider, which I would recommend anyone doing because they're really good value. But there's so much plastic in them, so much plastic. So that's Hoopa EX and Darkrai EX, two pretty big cards. Hoopa letting you fill up your bench with 3 EX Pokemon, and obviously Darkrai being one of your main attackers in the deck. This attack does 20 damage for each dark energy attached to all of your Pokemon, so you're wanting to load up that dark energy. Dark Hand, if your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep, this does 80 more damage, but it's really, you know, the Dark Pulse that you're wanting to use. Kind of strange actually seeing these cards as non-hollows, just because, you know, these EX cards are very kind of shiny and kind of, you know, real nice to look at. So it's kind of strange to see them in non-hollow form and kind of just normal, but still pretty cool to have and a lot cheaper than you know, building the decks, especially when it comes to buying EXs. That's when the price really goes up. Unlike Greninja, it had pretty much no EXs in it, if I can remember correctly, so kept the price of it down a bit, you know. But if you're building this deck now with EXs and Giratina and Darkrai, it'd be quite expensive, or at least more expensive, you know. So yeah, there's our card. And so going through some of the first pack here. We have Reverse Valley. These are pretty cool stadiums, depending on which way you play the card. It has a different effect. Pretty cool. Reverse Valley, Max Elixir, pretty cool card for them to load up your dark energy on your side of the board, which obviously ramps then Darkrai EXs, Dark Pulse attack. Giratina EX. So a little bit out of focus there. But prevent Renegade Pulse. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon, by your opponent's Mega Evolution. So basically, it can't be touched by Megas. Chaos Wheel. Your opponent can't play any tools, special energy, or stadium cards from his or her hand during his or her next turn. So fairly disruptive card there. Be hard to deal with. We have our Oblivion Wing of Veltal. With 1 for 30, and you can attach a dark energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon, again helping to accelerate energy to the Darkrai. Pretty good. And Darkness Blade does 100, and if Tails, this is Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. Garbodor with the Garbatoxin. You could say it's a famous card, an infamous card, depending on your perspective on it. With its ability, if this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached, then each Pokemon in play in each player's hand and each player's discard pile has no ability. So it shuts off abilities, stops your opponent from implementing their strategies. Pretty oppressive card, pretty powerful card. Here is Darkrai EX. Again, our 2 Trumpets for our 2/2 Garbodor line. And then we have Shaman EX with that setup ability. When you play this Pokemon, from your hand onto your bench, you draw until you have 6 cards, and then you have Sky Return, letting you do 30 damage, more importantly, getting that Shaman with its low HP of 110 off the board and back into the safety of your hand as well. And then you can reuse your setups. Lizond, just for Gust. Fighting Fury Belt gives you an extra more, 40 hit points more and 10 more damage output on your Pokemon. Versus Seeker, even these World Championship versions of Versus Seeker are expensive. One of the most powerful item cards ever printed. Put a supporter from your discard pile back into your hand. So we have some of our Pokemon line there, with all of our Pokemon line and some of our supporters. Now let's see what we have here. Starting off with our Super Rod. Just open up this. So Super Rod, good for recovery. So we have a copy of Super Rod, 4 copies of Ultra Ball, discard 2, find any Pokemon in the deck, pretty strong. AZ, put one of your Pokemon into your hand and discard all cards attached. And like all the Pokemon we have, or all these cards, we have the signature of the players. So that is Shunto's signature there. Trainer's Mail, again pretty broken item cards, only 2 in the deck it seems here. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck, you reveal a trainer card you find there, accept Trainer's Mail and put it into your hand. Very good for just cycling through your deck. We have our double Dragon Energy, we play 3 of those. So a double dragon reads, this card can be passed to a dragon Pokemon, so your Giratina. This card provides every type of energy, provides only 2 energy at a time, only while this card is attached to dragon Pokemon. And if it's attached to any other type of Pokemon, you just discard it. So good for getting around Giratina's kind of strange attack cost, which is a grass, a psychic, and a double colorless. So helps you kind of load up your Giratina quick. So we have 4 Sycamore, a Ranger, remove all effects of attacks on each player, and his or her Pokemon. 1 off of them. We have Parallel City, again another one of these cards. Stadiums that depend on which side you play. It has different abilities, which is a pretty cool concept. We play 2 copies of N. We have 3 copies of Floatstone for retreating, getting in and out. Zerazik, so choose a Pokemon tool or special energy card attached to a Pokemon and play both either yours or your opponent and discard it, so a bit more kind of slowing your opponent down, disruption. So you obviously want to time that correctly to make the most of it, because that's your supporter for a turn. Then we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Darkness Energy. 10 Darkness Energy. That rounds up our Darkrai deck, so pretty cool. Again, it's strange, I suppose, to see them in the non-holographic, but actually is kind of cool as well. And I suppose over time, one good thing about it is over time some of these shiny cards, for want of a better phrase, or holographic cards, or however you want to, foil cards, you know, they can kind of warp just over time naturally. So I suppose we don't have to worry about that when it comes to our World Championship deck. So that is Shunto's Darkrai EX deck, so that's pretty cool. Be interesting to play with this. I'm not going to change or adapt the list at all to any of these decks. I'm just going to keep them as is and play them as they were. I'm more interested, to be honest, in Jesper's deck here. I suppose seniors, you might think that seniors the deck list might be a bit more refined because the players are a bit older, which may be the case, but it's actually more to do with the fact that we're playing a break card, Mega and Vespiquen, and we're kind of not relying on the 2 prize EXs as much, which I find really interesting. Yeah, so just kind of look, I've never actually even played this or even really seen others play this before, so really looking forward to seeing these cards. And again, got a decent price on this, so this mightn't have been too bad of a deck actually, in fairness, to build you know, with real cards, due to the fact that we don't really have that many EXs in here. We have the 3 Shaman EX, which is still, still relatively pricey, but not nearly what it used to be, so other than the Shaman EX, everything else, and okay, 4 Versa Seeker, fair enough, that could cost you. And I'm not too sure about the Forest Giant Plant, since it's gotten banned. I don't know how expensive it might be, but they're kind of the only cards there. Maybe the Brick shouldn't be too bad, because it's not really that popular of a card either. But sometimes these kind of break cards and things like that can kind of hold their value just because of them being kind of shiny and hollow, and kind of that was the gimmick at the time, breaks, or I shouldn't say gimmick. But that's our badge again. So we have a cool little Spinnerack here. Other cards here in the pack, and I'm just going to deal with this last bit of plastic here. to pop open our Shaman and our last card. Okay, so they don't make it easy. Oh, here we go. Now, Shaman EX. So Pokemon, obviously, this is the only EX in the deck. So they will give it a spotlight at the front of the deck, but it's not really any. It's not the main attacker. It's not the main card of the deck at all. It's Vespiquen and it's Yanmega Break. So interesting that they put the EX at the front, maybe just to make it more flashier or whatever, more appealing. And actually, funnily enough, they put Ariados up here at the front, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it might be a Yanmega. So Poisonous Nest. Once during your turn for your attack, you may use this ability. Both active Pokemon except for grass Pokemon are now poisoned. So if your Pokemon's poison, if your Pokemon's grass, you're not going to get poisoned. And then impound 30, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. So yeah, Poisonous Nest, pretty cool. We'll see now that pretty much all of our Pokemon are grass, so we can really abuse that ability. Let's start off now with the Pokemon here. So we have Spinarak and we have the Ariados there too. So I'm going to actually put the Ariados here beside it. Spinarak, Ariados. Okay. 4 versus Seeker. Same as before. Good level ball. Gets you Pokemon 90 HP or less. So that gets your Spinaraks here and your Ariadoses. Pretty handy. 3 or 4 Professor's Sycamore for your dump draw 7. Forest Giant Plant. Pretty cool card. I actually have 4 of these actual cards. Pretty cool. Judge. 2 judges. So that's your. Make your opponent shuffle their hand and draw 4, which can be really disruptive for them. Battle Compressor. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and discard them. So this is great for getting Pokemon into the discard pile, which fuels your Vespiquen's attack, which we'll see later on. Now we have our Yanmega Break here. 140 hit points. When a break evolves, and you evolve a break, you can still use all of its attacks from when it was Yanmega. Which is pretty good, and all of its abilities and weaknesses and retreat cost of its previous evolution. So Barrier Break, 3 colorless, 100 damage, and this attack's damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any other effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's always going to swing for your 100 damage, which is good just for making sure you're getting that damage out there consistently. So we have our 3 Yanmega Breaks. Ultra Ball, 4 copies of Ultra Ball. Pick any Pokemon from your deck, draw 2 or discard 2 cards. Special Charge is great for getting your special energy back. Revitalizer puts 2 grass Pokemon from your discard pile to your hand. Good for recovery. Lizan then, just your Gust. And you have your 4 double colorless energy here as well. I suppose Revitalizer is decent because if you're binning Pokemon to get Vespiquen swinging, then you might actually realise you might need some of those Pokemon later on. So it's good to just get them back and have a way of getting them back. So we have AZ again. Here's our Yanmega. So Yanmega reads: if you have exactly 4 cards in your hand, ignore all energy in the attack of each of this Pokemon's attacks. So if you have 4 cards in hand, pretty kind of unique, cool ability, then Assault Boom here is for free. And if your opponent's active Pokemon has a tool attached to it, this does 70 more damage. So it can go all the way up then to 120. Pretty sure Greninja in this format is weak to grass as well. So that could be a factor in Jesper playing this deck as well. So that's our Yanmega. We play 4 Yanmegas. Then we have our Yanmas with our Air Slash, 70 hit points. I was expecting it to have free retreat, but the Yanmega, in fairness, does have free retreat. N, 2 copies of N, 2 copies of Shaman EX. We have our Combi here, Bug Bite, 1 for 10, 40 hit points. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Currently actually raising a Combi in my second run through of Sword and Shield. So I only recently discovered that this little part of Combi means that it's a female. So discovered that. after all these years. I wasn't paying much attention to Comey previously to this. Vespa 90 hit points, so it's level ball searchable, which is great. Intelligent gathering, you must draw cards and leave 6 cards in your hand, does 10 damage. Not bad, but it's all about Be Revenge here. This attack does 10 more damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile and a 20 base. So that's why you want loads of Pokemon in there, and then you're swinging for big damage. It also has free retreat, which is nice. So you play 4 copies of Esquine as your secondary attacker. Burst and Balloon. So if this is attached to your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack, even if your Pokemon is knocked out, you put 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. So it's a bit of a deterrent for your opponent, and they kind of have to be wary of it as well. So that has been Jesper Eriksen's deck as well. Pretty cool decks. Looking forward to sleeving them up and getting to actually play with them. And particularly this deck here, Vespiquen and Yanmega are pretty interesting cards. So, you know, you kind of don't really get a feel for them until you actually get to play them as well. So looking forward to trying these out. Maybe playing them against each other as well. So yeah, so I suppose my next videos I'll actually go back to kind of steer away from the Worlds decks. We've done them now for a while, and maybe take a look more at pre-built decks from older formats. You know, base to Fossil, Rocket On 2003, 2004. Maybe from there. I am currently building a couple of decks from I suppose Sun and Moon era 2017, 2019. I'm kind of making my own kind of I suppose rotation rules when it comes to that. I'm literally keeping I'm keeping cards from that are legal from 2017 2019 and building decks around that, because I just really like that era. So notably cards like Bridget, for instance, I'd still have them in my 2019 decks, but in reality 2019 when it was happening wouldn't have had Bridget and stuff like that. So it's been interesting, but I kind of like that era, and I kind of like that card pool the way it is from 2017 to 2019. So that's what I'm currently doing, but I will go back to older decks because I have plenty of them I need to get through, and maybe in the future I will take a look at some of the 2019 lists from that format that I am building for the channel. Okay, that has been everything for now, guys. Hopefully our next video won't be as far away as this one was, and yep, thanks very much. Looking forward to hearing your comments on these products. They're pretty cool, and yeah, okay, this has been another episode of The Boss's Way. See you soon.